Hey there guys, today's video is going to be a quick one on some changes I've made to my generator building's ventilation system. There is a damper, but on the other side there is an exhaust fan. The way this used to be controlled was through a reverse acting thermostat, where once it got cold enough it would switch on power to not only the exhaust fan or to the control voltage of the damper actuator, where it is usually given 24 volts always, and with just 24 volts it will stay closed, and then once it's given, I believe it's 12 volts in my case or something like that, it will then open all the way. So it used to be it would always have the 24 volt, and then it was given the 12 volt at the same time the exhaust fan came on to ventilate the building. Issue with that was the reverse acting thermostat would sometimes bump back and forth a little too quickly, where it would turn on the cooling, then turn it off right away, then turn it back on repeat, and sometimes it would only switch back and forth like every couple minutes. So it was really a lot of unnecessary opening and closing of the damper, and it doesn't really need to be on the thermostat, as I'm not too worried about it getting too hot in there in the summertime, and I don't think it needs to be turned on with a thermostat, or a reverse acting thermostat I should say. It can just turn on when the generator's running, which is how it's now set up. And this is the generator running reference to the control module, so we can ignore both those cords. This is our main feed to the building, to the transfer switch. This is the only power coming off of the generator, and that goes into this box here. So I did some electrical work here. Things have been changed around, but I will go over to how it is now. Is that supplies this receptacle and a 120 volt coil relay in there. So whenever this gets energized, it energizes this cord here, which is the power to our exhaust fan. And this is our damper power open. So this is, I think, a 12 volt power supply, and like I said, I can't remember if it's like a 0 to 10 or 0 to 12, or can't remember exactly what it is for those dampers, where basically if you gave it half of its rated control voltage, it will go to halfway. Somebody told me that you could just give them full 24 volt too, and they do have that capability of just opening up all the way and it won't damage them. I'm not exactly sure though on that. So basically this is always giving the damper power, damper closed power. So this power, if it only has this, it'll just keep it closed, and this is also, I believe, the operating power. Without that, it will not operate open or closed. So when this power turns on, it will open. This is the power through the generator, or from the generator, but it passes through this relay first, with which this relay is also just tied onto the 120 volts. So the relay will close or open depending on what contacts you are. It's two contacts, and each has normally open, normal closed. But we're running this through here, which may make 0 sense, and it actually doesn't make a lot of sense if you're just looking at it from a power being on or off perspective. It doesn't need the relay. However, I do need the relay, because as what was happening is, even with this non-powered, with this not powered up, when this was connected to the damper, it would sort of go to about the halfway open, and it would keep fluctuating back and forth. So I'm not sure if the damper was going off of some sort of resistance, or if through the transformer, and for some reason that was giving it this weird signal. I don't exactly know how these damper actuators cope with that, but it was causing this weird thing where it would open the damper like halfway and fluctuate back and forth. So my fix to that was just simply run it through a relay, where it has a open circuit through the transformer until the generator turns on, and this is actually putting out power, as well as then the relay closes, and then the damper gets its signal to open all the way. Not exactly sure why it was doing that, why it was kind of bumping back and forth, fluctuating, even with the power supply not powered up. But I just put the relay in, which the relay was actually there before, so that fixed that problem. Basically now, as soon as the generator starts, it will power up that exhaust fan, and that will come on, as well as this transformer will get powered up, this power supply, as well as the relay will close, giving the damper actuator its signal to open all the way. However, it won't do that without this power, because this closed power, I believe, is also its actual power to operate. So once the power gets transferred to the generator, then the damper can open. The only way to fix that from what I can think of right now would be to put that on a small UPS that I could put in the building, which I may do. However, I don't think it is much of a concern. So now the ventilation system will run in here whenever the generator is running, whether it needs to be or not. It could be an extremely cold day and it doesn't really need to be running, but it will anyways. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think the generator would ever be too cold when it's actually running. I don't think that's an issue that would ever be ran into, as it does have a block heater on the engine, so will already be at a hot temperature when it needs to start. So I don't think that would ever be an issue. Only thing we don't have in here now is ventilation from just the ambient temperature in the summertime, which I don't think that should be a problem. The only thing I can maybe see hitting is the fire alarm. High temperature, which right now it's at about 32 degrees, because the generator's max operating temperature before it hits its over temperature shutdown is 40 degrees Celsius. And so I have that at 32 to give the fire alarm supervisory trouble before the generator gets over its max temperature and shuts down on me. But we'll see if that becomes an issue or not. So yeah, guys, that is the changes I made here. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those down in the comment section. And if you do enjoy my channel, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you are interested, I do have an Instagram account at Pickle700 for bonus content posted earlier than you'd see it on the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. Alrighty, guys, thanks for watching.